Dork Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the Dork Podcast. Ryan Davey. It's the Dork Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag Dork Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Rarth Ravy Von Darth Davey. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I'm okay. I got my memorabilia around me. I'm ready.
What do you got? You got a piece
my,
there? Look at that.
I got my lightsaber.
Look at that beauty.
Have I shown you my coins, Richard?
No, I'd love to see your coins.
So in like they have these things,
yes.
right? But there's 4. So like you're like, oh, you can buy these from a machine, and you get like
This is at Disney World.
Is it? So you see the droids there.
Oh, I see
it.
C-3PO and R2-D2. Yep.
And BB-8. BB-8's down there.
BB-8's in there.
And then you got this one, which is Darth Vader flanked by 2 stormtroopers. I don't know if you can.
I like that. Yeah, that's
you like
nice.
that?
That's a nice piece.
And then you got the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Fucking buddy cops.
Right? See
like
that?
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Now it's in focus. Look at that. Sharp, right?
Wow.
And then you get my guy, Chewbacca.
Chewy.
So they're like, oh, you put your thing in here and you can pick which coin you want. I was like, I'm buying all 4.
Yeah.
So I got all 4 of them.
I'm not playing that game.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have
my lightsaber?
Do you have a favorite droid?
Do I have a favorite droid? Yes.
Okay.
It's got to be R2-D2. Why am I out of focus now?
It doesn't have to be. I mean, it can be.
I mean, he's the one he makes it all the way through. Well, I know C-3PO does kind of too, but
yeah, he's a pain in the ass. I think mine might be Chopper. I'm pretty partial. I like Rebels quite a bit.
I like BD from Jedi Survivor and
oh yeah, the video game guy. He's a good one.
He's like a buddy droid. He like hangs out like on your shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's good.
BD1, I think.
Yeah, because BB-8's pretty good. We talked B2 Emo from Andor or even K2S. There's a lot of good ones.
So many good ones.
I kind of like.
I'm all out of focus now. I fucked up my camera.
Well, we saw those coins though.
I know. Then I screwed up my camera.
Saw the coins. Still, I think that was a win though for us overall on the coin front.
Oh, 2 high def.
Oh yeah, let's get you in there.
There we go.
Right. How about this? This weekend at the box office, Sinners, maybe the greatest movie ever made, was number 1 once again. And in a week where The Accountant 2, Electric Boogaloo, came out, starring Ben Hufleck and our guy John Bernthal. The video game movie Until Dawn also came out.
Which every review just said, just play the game.
Yep, true. Which I want to do. Oh, speaking of games, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Free game on PlayStation. I'm going to download it right after this. We got to get a stream.
Yes.
Like Friday the 13th. Get a bunch of us idiots again on there playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And let me tell you what's great about this game, because that you'll really like. So it's not just Leatherface. Like you can play anyone in the family.
I like
and
it.
They all do different things, right?
Like
and then, but it's like, it's basically the same game. It's like Friday the 13th or like the Evil Dead one.
Is it still one killer and however many other people?
4 or 5, survivors.
Okay.
You just try to get out, like you try to get out of the house.
I kind of can't wait. I think we can. So what do we need? 6 people?
5 or 6, yeah.
Okay. Oh, we can get that.
Yeah, easy. And for a free game, come on.
Oh my God, I can't wait. But I think Until Dawn might be the free game next month. I heard a rumor.
Yeah. And so the other game I know we're not doing like a video game minute right now, but like we got time. Man, I got the updated version of Days Gone.
Oh yeah.
I can't stop.
Really?
Dude, it's like
okay.
The best thing, like you get like the motorcycle is like your sidekick. And you played it a little bit, right?
I played it a lot of it actually, and then that was the fucking game that didn't save on me. I played for like hours, and then I saved it.
Get back into it again because
like started over, and I was like, dude.
Yeah. So, but it just having the bike and like fixing it up and like making it your own,
yeah,
is like the best part of the game. And I am a nervous wreck about running out of gas in my everyday life, but this for whatever reason, that mechanic in the game where you can actually run out of gas like in a very bad time is terrifying.
Scary.
But to get that $10, why not?
Fucking come on.
You already bought it. Spend $10. Upgrade it. Update it.
So, going back to the box office, Sinners was number 1, and then The Accountant 2 is out. Until Dawn is out. Minecraft is out once again. Minecraft's been just dominating the box office. People going crazy with the chicken jockeys.
I tried to ask someone what that was all about. They're like, it's kind of like this glitch that happens from time to time. It's like a inside joke.
People throwing popcorn, whatever.
Yeah.
With all of that, coming in at number 2 this weekend at the box office, $25 million made, is the re-release for the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith.
Just it didn't make enough money the first time, so now we're gonna,
bring it back out 20 years later. I didn't have a chance to see it at the theater this week. I would have, if I had nothing to do, I definitely would have gone to see it. I watched it just at home in my home theater, and it fucking cranked, and it was awesome. You can stream it, obviously, with all the Star Wars movies on Disney Plus. So we ripped through a rewatch. Hopefully all you guys did as well. Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. So my goal, Dave, was to come up with 20 questions for the 20-year anniversary.
Okay.
I have several more than that, though.
I have, and just so for you listeners at home, I don't know what these questions are. I don't know what's about to happen.
I didn't tell you ahead of time.
Okay.
Some of them are very kind of looking back on it. Others are very specific to the movie. So it's a wide range. Feel free to answer them in the Twitch chat or YouTube chat, excuse me. Feel free to email us if you have any others, or if you widely agree or disagree with anything. First, not really. I guess it's kind of a question. What would your dork score be? Obviously, we didn't do a podcast 20 years ago. And maybe your view then is different than it is now, but sort of we every movie that we watch, we kind of throw a grade or a score on it. What would you put for Star Wars Episode 3?
If I were to put it in context, if Empire's a 6. Oh, yeah. Empire Strikes Back is a 6.
Of course.
If Rogue One's a 6. If I even like The Force Awakens is up there, I would give that like a 5.5, 5.
Yeah.
I would say this is a 4.5. It is the strongest of the prequel trilogy.
Well, by far,
I think. Yeah. But I don't think it's great. It's really good, but it's not great.
Yeah, so I think there's 11 live action Star Wars movies.
Yep.
And
it's in the middle. It's in the middle.
At its absolute best, the strongest push you could push it is 4th. It's the 4th best movie if you fucking go nuts about it. It would, to me anyway, it'd be Empire, the original, and Rogue One are sort of like, it's on its best day aren't going to top those 3. It probably doesn't top all the other ones either, but it's like you can make a case for 4, and then even if you hate it, it's 8. Like it's 7 or 8, right? Like there's a few that are no doubt worse.
For me, it's like it's on par with Return of the Jedi.
Same. And that was like, I agree with that. And that was sort of like a hot take because everybody, the original, you can't touch the original trilogy. And then there was like a time where it was like the sequels or the prequels are such shit. And I'm like, I don't know, the third in each one. Like, I think I would much rather watch Revenge of the Sith again than Return of the Jedi.
And I think it's like, because again, there's like these, I feel like Attack of the Clones was so kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And you still, and specifically, and we're into spoilers, doesn't matter. It's like the droids, like the droid army are like slapstick. Like they're goofy. Like it doesn't make, and you have like Anakin Skywalker killing children
in this one,
and like these goofy ass droids that are still like, you're like, it doesn't really vibe really well.
No, the trilogy was kind of wild, and obviously a lot of it was like make toys and just sort of like bring Star Wars back for like a new generation and everything. But like, you go from like Jar Jar Binks and like the goofy droids into murdering children,
and like this whole
dumplings, as it were,
and this whole political drama, and like this whole thing with there's a line that Palpatine says to he says to Anakin, he said like, something about like good, like for good. He's like, well, good is perspective. Like good is like it's relative, like whoever you ask.
Yeah.
So there's like stuff like dealing with that.
Yeah.
And but this is the movie that ties 1, 2, 3 with 4, 5, 6. Like this is the movie that like it becomes about Anakin Skywalker. It's like Luke, we were introduced to Luke and Leia and Han and like all these great characters in 4, 5, and 6. But really, this whole story is about Anakin Skywalker and like how he brings balance to the Force, and like it's like how he falls, how he rises. In the aftermath. Like that's how I see like the 3.
I also think
that makes sense.
It makes sense. I also think Clone Wars, Rebels, and even Andor to a certain degree all make this movie better. Like going back and watching it, it's like you have stuff that's going on during, you have stuff that was before to sort of strengthen the Anakin character, you have stuff going on after to sort of like strengthen the universe and like Palpatine and all the shit that happened after Revenge of the Sith. So like going back and rewatching it was like a blast. Like it's super fun to watch.
It's super fun to watch. I would say the one that taking points off, and we haven't even gotten to your questions yet, but like, one. I got like the weakest part of this movie is Hayden Christensen. Like, unfortunately, I just don't think he's that good of an actor.
Yeah, he's kind of grown on me a little bit. I do overall agree with you. I think like 2 sucks and like he's bad in it, episode 2. Yeah. And then this one, he is definitely like, I think Star Wars fans have finally embraced him, and that's why it was like exciting to have him back in like Ahsoka. Yeah. But he's sharing so many scenes with either Ewan McGregor or Natalie Portman, and you're like, this guy doesn't really stand up with these two. Like these two are like legit, like actors, actresses, and it's like, then you got this guy too.
But he's like that character,
a security hologram of him killing younglings.
We'll have more on that in a bit.
Yeah.
We have more on that in a bit. Do you think it holds up? I think it kind of like to my point. I think it actually holds. I think it's actually better because of all the new Star Wars stuff.
And thank you, Dave Filoni, who made this relevant because there is so much stuff that they talk about in this movie that they touch upon later, that you finally get answers to later, which is fascinating.
Yeah. Yep.
How that level of attention to detail that goes into these things is kind of wild.
No, I know. All right, are you ready for some of these other questions?
Yes, I'll try to answer them quickly.
All right, you don't no, take your time. It's a goddamn podcast. All right, here's one. This is about the movie specifically. So there's obviously a big save scene sequence where Anakin and Obi-Wan have to save Chancellor Palpatine, right?
Yes.
That's like a whole thing. They crash land. Do you think Palpatine, I tried specifically watching for this and I couldn't tell. Do you think, knowing who he is, do you think he kind of like with his mind prevented the ship from like really crashing? Like he's not going to risk his own death in this.
Right. And they did say at one point, like they were flying towards the ship and Obi-Wan says like, do you realize the shields are still up? Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so there had to have been a way for him to do that, like help them get in.
Right.
So yeah, I do.
I think he probably had to. Like I think he's obviously manipulating Anakin the whole time, but he's
the other thing too, like so he says too, because he starts telling him the story of like Plagueis the Wise, right? And he starts talking about how he was murdered by his apprentice, who he doesn't know at the time that that's who he's talking to, right? But he said he taught him everything he knows, and one of the things that like Plagueis could do a lot of things, but was like seeing the future part of it too.
Oh, Plagueis? Maybe. Yeah.
And so like he knows obviously who, and the idea is that he's telling him about how Plagueis could manipulate midichlorians and actually create life. Right. And so like he's telling him that's who you are. Right. So like that's, I think to me, I mean, that's all of those things that while you're watching the movie didn't seem like important. And then you're like, oh wait, no, like that's that's really important.
There's more there.
Yeah.
Jason in the YouTube chat, I'm confused where Ahsoka is during this movie. So they do try to like clarify that. Like if you
watch
like Clone Wars, right? Like she had bailed on the Jedi Order, the Jedi Council. she fakes her death and is like gone. And
she's
so,
gone.
Like, yeah. So I think that's kind of where she was during this movie, I guess. How should Count Dooku be remembered?
So that was another big thing in this movie too, because you remember, like, oh, he's being held by Count Dooku. You're like, how are you going to do this? And like, they get rid of him immediately. They dispatch him immediately.
They fucking slice his head off with double lightsaber. They just
like,
Dooku.
Hey,
yeah, that's cold-blooded as hell.
Yeah, but that happened to Django in episode 2. So you're like, all right, now
hands,
here we're
a lot of hands getting cut off and a lot of heads getting cut off in Star Wars.
I think Dooku is kind of like the test for Anakin, for Palpatine, to see if he is who he says he is, like, he should be able to do this.
Well, not only that, I was thinking that is another example of, all right, this guy was like a legit Jedi, flipped him.
Yeah.
And like, all right, I got a good amount out of him, but like I need somebody even stronger than that.
Yeah.
But somebody that played the Jedi game, and then I could convince him. He also, correct me if I'm wrong, was he a Saj Ventress mentor?
Yes.
Was he like
Dooku
on the side?
was.
Yeah, Dooku was working with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll probably get more of that coming up next week in Tales of the Underworld.
Yeah.
I bet there'll be a little bit more Dooku.
And he's been great too, because he showed up in Tales of the Jedi too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Has Padme in this movie, has anybody ever looked as good as her, male or female, in a movie?
In a movie?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Gotta be up there. I don't think anybody's looked bad. Maybe as good as Padme. I don't think anybody's looked
full glam.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman, incredible.
Great outfits.
I agree. Do you agree with Anakin Skywalker that it was bullshit that he was not appointed the rank of master?
I think, but again, I think this is Palpatine doing this on purpose, where he's pulling strings to get him on the council, but knew he would be pissed off that they don't make him a master.
Yeah, that is a classic chess versus checkers kind of thing going on.
Like, yeah, I'm going to throw you a bone, but you're going to be pissed that they don't make you a master.
Fucking dumb by the Jedi, though. Like, the Jedi should have seen that coming.
Well,
they kind of look like buffoons a lot of times.
And this is the first time, like, you see, and it was great to see it in one of the great things that the Acolyte did was that like they sometimes don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
For all these like super wise, super put together people, like they make big mistakes, and this was one of them.
Yeah. Now, going back and watching it again and again and again and again, one guy that never fucking took the cheese on Anakin Skywalker was Mace Windu. He was like, fuck this guy. We can't trust him. Like, very strong Jedi, but a very wise Jedi. But clearly the council wasn't all on the same page, because like Mace Windu never would have had him on the council, which never would have gotten him pissed off about being a master. Right. And he probably would have stepped in and been like, maybe let's not have him with Palpatine so much.
Well, also, like, you have people calling Anakin Skywalker like the chosen one, like, to his face. Like, and this is a kid.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So if you think, and again, if you've coached kids,
like, cheese.
Yeah, like how do you not buy into that? How do you not? And you're like, we got to be really careful with this kid. Because again, like, we know who he is, or we know who we think he is, and if we do this incorrectly, like, it's going to be really bad. And guess what? No one listened to him either, and it was really bad.
Nobody. It's true. Thanks to Ryan in the YouTube chat for expanding on where Ahsoka Tano was.
Yes, thank you.
Back to that question. Ryan says she's currently at the Battle of Mandalore. The last 3 episodes of Clone Wars, she meets up with Obi-Wan and Anakin right before they take off for the Battle of Coruscant. They were about to help her, but got called away because the Chancellor had been kidnapped by Grievous. Because I do remember, thank you, Ryan. I do remember Clone Wars did a pretty good job being like, all right, we have a few things we obviously have to kind of tie up. And we got to, like, there's some weird stuff in Rebels when it gets to like Ezra, for example. Like, how come Ezra is not in the original trilogy? It's like, we're going to put him on some fucking Purgle whales and send him to the other end of the galaxy. And like, there you go.
There he is.
So thank you, Ryan, for answering that. All right. You mentioned Darth Plagueis before. Mm-hmm. Is this the best intro ever to a character who we don't actually even see?
Well, I think one of the great things about the Star Wars lore is that there's a lot of like Sith lords that you don't really know much about, and some of them are fucking really cool.
Yes.
Like, who is it? Darth Nihilus, who's just like he's held together by like dark energy, like the dark side. Like he's not actually a person.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so good.
And like Darth Plagueis, who could like create life and death, and
But I even remember, like, so this movie came out. I wasn't a kid. I was 20. So when this movie came out, I was 21, and I remember being like, I need to know more about that guy. Like, that's fucking awesome. Like, give me a story on that. And then, like, unfortunately, they kind of waste him a little bit in the Acolyte. But
I don't think we've seen the last of him. It was good to like see his face and actually see.
You might be right.
And you know who else was sitting in the audience being like, I need to know more about that guy. I'm going to write some of this shit down. Was Dave Filoni. So
Correct.
Thank you. So, because he at that point, right, he was just
a dude.
You know, so how amazing is it that he took the ball and ran with it, that we all wanted to, and had it make sense.
All right. Going back to this movie specifically, was Mace Windu really dominating Palpatine, or was Palpatine just kind of fucking with him, waiting for Anakin to move?
No, he was waiting for Anakin to. There was no way.
I agree.
There's no way that I'm apologies to the Mace Windu fans out there, but that was on purpose.
I think Mace Windu comes across as like they say in wrestling, like you can lose, but you can still be like, you can still come off strong. Like I think Mace Windu comes off strong. Like he sniffs out Anakin's bullshit. I do think overall he's one of the stronger Jedi, but I don't think any one Jedi can take on Darth Sidious.
No, and I think of him more as like a diplomat. I don't really see him as like a fighter Jedi.
Yeah,
whereas like more as like an emissary. He's not really like there to fight. And so he held his own for a little bit, but I really think he was playing Anakin.
We were just waiting
the whole time.
He was just waiting. He's like, he's gonna come over here and he's gonna help me out. Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, next question. Does Ian McDiarmid, the actor who plays Palpatine, do you think he does enough face acting?
Yes, I believe he does.
Does he do too much?
A little bit at times. It's enough. A little over the top.
Right? Is it the Goldilocks of face acting? It's just the right amount. Yeah, it's over the top. It's pretty crazy.
So I did read that too. King Torbjorn in the chat. Good to have you here.
Oh, King Torbjorn. All right, set up the turrets.
Who says he's the best swordsman? Yeah, probably, but like in like practice, like when's the last time he actually had to do it?
Torbjorn says the purple lightsaber lore is that he's the best swordsman, which is cool, and maybe they've created that. However, the original thing was, I think George Lucas asked him to be in Star Wars,
and he said the only way I would do it.
And no, but I think he was like, I'll do it, and then he was like, can I have a purple lightsaber? So like for some of those scenes, like if you go to like Attack of the Clones and stuff, and there's like a whole bunch of them, like he wants to be able to identify where he is,
and he's the only one. He's the only one. He said, I want a purple lightsaber, and I want to be the only one who has one.
Because I remember reading some stuff too that was like, obviously there's a lot of lightsabers that are blue for Jedi, and obviously all the Sith ones are red, and then red and blue combined.
The traditional are red and blue are purple, but there's also green.
No, I know there is also green, but I'm saying like, I don't know, that was sort of like if you took like Luke's, or if you took Anakin's first lightsaber, I believe.
Yes.
And then his new one, and you combine the two, they'd be purple.
But there is a guide to like different lightsaber colors and like what they mean.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do I got?
And there's another weird thing too, that like Anakin says to Mace Windu, he says to him, like, no, he's like, you're not gonna kill him, we're gonna bring him in, he's gonna stand trial, because that's what Jedi do. And he's like, no, he's too powerful. Like, we have to kill him. And I think that was the moment that like Anakin was like, you're full of shit, because you've been telling me that's not how we do things, and now here you are. Like, you're full of shit.
You kind of fucked that up a little bit. Yeah. Like Anakin at that point was already probably like 75% brainwashed, but that probably pushed it over the top.
Right.
All right, here's the ultimate question, and I have a ton more, so this isn't the last question. It's just maybe one of the biggest questions out of Revenge of the Sith. In your mind, is Mace Windu alive? he's never like confirmed dead. There's been a million movies and shows after this. They've never confirmed him alive or dead, I don't believe.
And I've seen worse things. Like, look at fucking Darth Maul got cut in half, and he made it out.
Correct.
Anakin Skywalker was burned alive, basically, with 2 legs and an arm gone. Well, one of his arms is already gone, so he lost the other arm and both his legs. He made it. We've seen what back to tanks can do.
Electrocuted a little bit and then like shot out of the Jedi Council or whatever they were, and like
Luke survived a fall like that. It's Cloud City.
Yeah, anybody could fucking scoop. He could land into a car and they could take off.
Yeah.
Now there'd be a lot of explaining to do. Cause like, how come you never came back and like all this stuff? But like, there's no proof of life or proof of death.
What if he comes back with an eye patch?
Fucking awesome.
Like
incredible.
Star Wars.
He goes, I want to put a team together.
They're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Get out of here.
Hey, we're not doing it. But I don't know. There's a lot of projects coming out. Could you do a Mace? Could Mace Windu be back?
He could be back.
Do you want Mace Windu back?
Not really.
Okay.
Or does he? No, he couldn't be alive for Rey to help Rey out. Could be an alien. Could have a longer lifespan. Never know.
Yeah, we don't know what. Yeah, we have no idea what his lifespan would be.
Yeah,
he could be alive. All right, is Order 66 a top 5 Star Wars moment?
Yes.
It's fucking mind-boggling. It might be number 1. Like, it is so crazy that they were able to, the whole clone thing. So like the clone thing was obviously like a huge deal. There's Clone Wars and there's all that stuff. But then to implant the thing into the clones where at the fucking drop of a hat, you can have them turn on all of the Jedi. It's amazing.
It's amazing. And one of the things that you wondered about, like, how did these Jedi all go away? And then you actually get to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty shocking.
It's insane. And we've now seen Order 66 in like a number of different.
Yeah. You've seen it. Yeah.
Like movie, TV show. We've seen it in a different version, like where people are when it happens.
Yeah. And Cal Kestis in the game is in the fucking temple when it happens.
Yeah.
He has to get out.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Order 66, fucking badass. All right, so there's at the very end of Jedi, there's that moment.
Oh, he absolutely did. Alex brought up a good point. You hear Windu's voice talk to Rey. He's in. Okay. He's gone.
So that means he's dead.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, because didn't we hear Ahsoka's voice then too?
Voice too? Yeah.
So she dies before that. All right, so okay. How about this? I'll give you that he's dead during Force Awakens, but could he be alive? Fuck, does he survive this? I guess is my main question.
He might have survived it.
Might have survived this and then died later.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Darth Maul. Could have been a good guy, Darth Maul. So at the end of Return of the Jedi, there's obviously that moment with Darth Vader, Anakin, and Luke, obviously. And then there's even like the Force Ghost Anakin talks to him. We've seen sort of Anakin in like Ahsoka. We've seen Anakin, like all this other shit, right? There's no way after murdering a ton of kids that there's like any possible redemption for him, right?
For Anakin or for Darth Vader?
Well, for the same guy, Anakin.
But I think there is redemption for Anakin in saving his son. Because the whole purpose of him is to bring balance to the Force.
Yeah,
that's him rebalance. That's his whole purpose, right? And so that's him rebalancing. Because there is, if Palpatine is too strong and the Jedi aren't strong enough, Luke's the last one. So
Padme says at the end of this movie, she says to Obi-Wan, she's like, "There's good in him."
Yeah,
I'm like, my lady, I think that ship has sailed. It's not like he killed a couple of other people like in war and that's sort of like what's going on and whatever. Like he murdered a bunch of kids.
Yes. And that was after he was dubbed Darth Vader.
True, but he did it like full go. Like he was full human at that point.
He was full human. But I don't think so, because there's a talk that that's not your father. Like there's a whole thing with Luke, like that's not your dad. Like that person.
Well, like who killed Anakin? Darth Vader killed Anakin. That line, like that kind of idea.
And he says that too. So he said that in Obi-Wan. He said it like that there is no Anakin anymore.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. All right. So basically, if there's somebody out there, because people are saying they're two different people, like if
I think it's like two. It's
like a Dr.
metaphor.
Mr. Hyde. So
No,
like,
it's like he's become so consumed with, and that's the funny thing too that I really like about this movie is that you realize that what ultimately gives him like when he wakes up and he's Darth Vader, and Palpatine lies and says basically you killed.
Yeah.
So it's guilt and it's grief. It's not hate. It's like the guilt of that is what is driving that power.
Yeah.
Because they remember he starts like yelling and screaming, and then like everything starts like crushed like around him.
Yeah.
It's that. It's not the hate for Obi-Wan. It's not the hating of anybody. It's like he hates himself.
Yeah, true. By the way, as far as like great people were talking again this week about the Captain America scene in Endgame, which was obviously amazing, like when he like reassembles everybody.
Yeah.
But the scene in this when Anakin is rescued and they put the fucking helmet on, and the second it starts breathing.
Oh yeah, I remember it was like I get like goosebumps. I got goosebumps watching it again.
Yeah.
And it was funny, like Hayden Christensen was talking about like how he came out for the first time in like full Darth Vader gear to like shoot that scene, and like he's like it was what people wouldn't like look him in the eye.
It's so cool, and like it's so clean. It's the first time they put it on, so it's like a brand new like batting helmet. It's like so shiny, and like as soon as it clicks, and then there's like a beat, and then the fucking breathing kicks in, and you're like, oh my god. And he's like, where's Padme? And you're like, dude, Padme's gone, dude. Like
she gone. But it's funny too that I mentioned that because I was talking about being at like Galaxy's Edge in Disney.
Yeah.
And like Darth Vader's just like walking around, and at one point, like my daughter Tess, who was like 6 at the time, I was like, get out of the way. Like move.
Yeah.
She's like, what? I'm like, just get out of his way. Like,
yeah. He's coming through, dude. Like we can't
move. Don't look at him.
Yeah. All right, next question. Is General Grievous underrated, overrated, or properly rated?
I think overrated, maybe. And I say this because
he killed a lot of Jedi.
Well, 4, right?
Well, he had all those lightsabers.
Yeah. I think the forearm thing is cool. I don't think, I have a problem with, anyone hold like you think of like was it Finn, and like if you don't know how to use a lightsaber, don't pick one up. It was funny in Skeleton Crew when like what's his name like picked it up and like tried to use it and picked it up like upside down.
You can't do it.
Like you're gonna kill your, like, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna hurt yourself. But I did train in some ways. Then he just like starts like whipping his hands around like a helicopter, like Petey Pablo.
Wild. I love a robot that like coughs. You know what I mean? Like, cause like a robot like shouldn't have any like breathing issues, and he's got like a respiratory problem. But he's a droid.
Yeah, but it's also like he's mostly droid, but he's like
it's not all right.
His brain and his heart.
Yeah. There's a weird story behind him, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a cool story, but like he's basically just heart, brain, and eyes.
Yeah, Ryan's probably got it. He'll let us know what it is.
Yeah, he'll let us know,
yeah. I definitely want to. I don't know. I think he's pretty good. I'll say he's solid. Excuse me. Do you have any thoughts on Plo Koon? We see him.
Poor Plo Koon.
Plo Koon. Yeah, agree.
Yeah,
I mentioned this in our Andor episode, but Mon Mothma, the actress and the character that we now see in Andor, we've seen her in a bunch of things. She had a speaking part in this that was cut out. So, like, unfortunately, I feel like they should, with the success of Andor, and now people aren't like, because I think episode 1 and 2, you're like, God damn it, there's like a lot of like politics. So they probably try to cut a lot of those scenes out in episode 3. But now that people are just like loving it and they love like reliving this series, throw those scenes back in. No one's gonna be mad about that.
Hang on. So we have this in the chat. Talk filibuster for 1 second.
All right, the chat is saying. Alex says he's underrated. He has a cool lore and an origin story. Plo Koon is the best Jedi, no debate. People like Plo Koon. Plo Koon's got a cool look about him. He looks like an underwater creature a little bit. but not in the water. Count Dooku taught him to fight. You talk about Grievous or Plo Koon? I mean, either way, I'd believe it.
Dooku taught Grievous how to fight.
Grievous, yeah, okay.
I have this. This was another of my treasures from.
Is that Plo Koon?
It sure is.
Oh my god, you got a Plo Koon.
Yeah, a little bust there.
That's cool as hell.
Right?
Yeah,
Got this in like a mystery egg.
What is that? Just like a little desk ornament?
Yeah, because he sits on my bookshelf.
I kind of love that.
Plo Koon. Yeah.
I love it. All right, how about this, Rye? What if towards the end of the film, if Padme took Anakin up on the offer to rule together, should she have taken him up on it? And could he have overthrown Palpatine like he said? So there's a scene like when they're on the plane or whatever, and like before he fights Obi-Wan and then turns into what he turns into, he's like, and then this is obviously like we know what a pure and good character Padme is. She's trying to do everything by the book and do the right thing. So it was never going to work.
Right.
But he was like, we can overthrow this fucker. Like we can like have a peaceful galaxy or whatever his eyes is. But he's like, you and me can rule together. Should she have taken him up on it?
No, because that's not what she wanted, right? She wanted democracy. She wanted a Senate. She wanted a republic. She didn't want an absolute ruler.
Yeah, probably not. Although not to victim shame, but could she have been like, yeah, dude, like let's do that, and then like try to manipulate him away? Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, yeah, that's our plan, but then convince him that the plan is actually just to go back.
Yeah, but I don't think she's that character who's going to be dishonest.
Yeah.
To somebody that she loves, and build that relationship off of a lie.
Yeah.
Because we see how that went. With he tried to kill her when he thought she was lying to him.
I did not like that. Yeah, that was not good. Is high ground really the most important thing? They make it out to be like, yeah, once you're on the high ground, there's no coming back from it, even though we know that's not really the case.
Yeah, with gunplay, it's not that big of a deal. But like when you're defending a fortress or you have swords, thrusting up, like I can hack down at you, but like you swinging up, it puts you at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah. Now, Darth Maul in episode 1 did have the higher ground, but he didn't die, but he got cut in half. He got cut in half. So that wasn't great for him. Here's another one. Should Obi-Wan Kenobi have mercy killed Anakin? He fucking watched him burn and then left.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Killed him? That's fucked up, right?
Kind of messed up.
I think that's wildly fucked up.
Maybe he thought he was gonna die.
But
I'm not the one who killed him because I just cut his legs off. He died by fire.
Cut his legs off, but he cut his legs off in Mustafar, which is a planet covered with fire.
Yeah.
But then he's like, he's screaming in pain, and Obi-Wan's like, deuces, bud.
Would you say that he's being consumed by fire, by his hatred? The fire inside of him is what's consuming him.
Yeah, I kind of am.
Yeah.
I kind of am saying that. But he fucking like watches him burn. And
he did, in a sense, he did watch Anakin die. Then when he says, like, I hate you, like that's the death of Anakin Skywalker.
In hindsight, would Obi-Wan like to put stick a little lightsaber in him just so you never would have had, however many years of Darth Vader? Probably would have been better for the galaxy, to be honest.
Probably would have been better for the galaxy, to be honest. Yeah. But we're thinking long game here.
Well, I mean, these Jedi should be so smart. What kind of grade do you give Yoda Darth Sidious fight in the Senate?
It's a lot of hucking chairs at each other.
It's a lot.
Speaking of like high ground, like Yoda, I don't think ever has the high ground, and he's just like bouncing back and forth.
He's just spinning fucking seats at him.
I think people got really excited in episode 2 watching Yoda do his thing, and then they kind of tried to do too much of it in this one.
Yeah, I think the actual Senate room, although I was bored as a kid with all the Senate's happenings, a pretty good venue for a fight. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, you can never really get your footing. Like, you're kind of like up and down and all
just
around.
Hopping around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was decent.
It's like a Donkey Kong level.
It was decent. Yeah. Oh no, did I lose all my fucking notes?
Oh no.
Oh no, I got them. I thought I deleted them. Let's see. Padme's official cause of death? Just broken heart, or what happened there?
Complications from childbirth is what I would say.
Well, they said she was fine. Remember the little robot doctor came out and she's like, I can't tell, but we're losing her. Like she's fine. Like she's legit fine. Broken heart.
Yeah,
maybe. Let's see. What would you say is the best meme or video reaction GIF from this movie?
The hard. Yeah,
without a doubt, it's the no. Yeah,
I send that to someone weekly. If they tell me something that I can't do something or plans fell through, I'm like, no.
So good. And last one, Rob, what would be or who would be your MVP of this movie?
Of this movie?
Just this movie alone. Yeah.
Hard to say Obi-Wan, but
it might be Obi-Wan.
Because he's kind of a dick.
He defeats Darth Vader. This movie was hyped up as this is going to be the fight. And by the way, good fight scene. It is. It's a good fight scene. It's a crazy setting, and he wins. So I would say Obi-Wan, even though he should have fucking mercy killed him, I feel like Obi-Wan probably was the MVP of the movie. I mean, Darth Vader obviously is.
Oh, he killed Grievous too.
He killed Grievous. Yeah, he killed Grievous.
He shot
him.
Anakin
got a kill on Count Dooku though.
Yeah, but like I said, he shot Grievous, which I thought was whack, and he's like, "How uncivilized," or something like that. Hey, you did it. So
Torbjorn says it's the longest sword fight in cinematic history.
What is? Which one?
Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
Is it really?
Might be. Yeah.
Someone's got to top that.
I believe it. All right, there you go. There's our
Wait, is it longer than the one in Highlander in the beginning when they're running around the parking garage?
Look, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
13 minutes, that's crazy long.
That is long.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with all that time? All right, that'll do it for us. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this. This is our episode 3 rewatch. It was fitting. It was big at the box office this week and made a ton of money. So very, very fun. You can hit us up on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube at Dork Podcast. We are in all of those venues. And you can email us at anytime, dorkpodcast@gmail.com next week, and or episodes 4, 5, and 6, as well as the latest MCU movie, Thunderbolts. So in the meantime, we'll talk to you then. And Davey promised me 1,000,000 times over, you'll never do another rule.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to promise you that.
The Dork Podcast.